Korean fusion reactor sets new record for sustaining 100 million degree plasma. Upgrades to Korea's artificial sun fusion reactor have produced another record-breaking result, with new components able to better withstand blistering temperatures and sustain a swirling ball of 100 million degree plasma for almost 50 seconds. It's a leap of close to 20 seconds from the Korea superconducting tokamak Advanced Research Reactor K-STAR for short K-STAR, which has been smashing its own records in recent years for how long it can generate and contain insanely hot plasma in its donut-shaped hull. At 100 million degrees Celsius, heavy hydrogen isotopes in the plasma, a hot cloud of ionized gas, are forced to fuse together, releasing energy in a fashion that's similar to what's happening in the sun's core. However, the challenge for nuclear fusion, which promises cleaner, near-limitless energy, is to contain this writhing loop of plasma using magnetic fields. K-STAR's latest result is impressive because it confronts some key challenges in the road to fusion power, although other fusion reactors in the same class of technology have pushed the limits further. By test driving the new components, K-STAR is paving the way for the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, ITER, which could be the world's largest tokamak fusion reactor if it can overcome budget blowouts and technical hurdles. K-STAR's new record, announced by the Korea Institute of Fusion Energy KFE last week, stems from upgrades made in 2023 to the reactor's diverter, a component that handles the hottest temperatures inside the reactor while funneling waste products away. K-STAR's diverter is now made of tungsten, which has a very high melting point but does not absorb the plasma fuel like a sponge or react with it in a way the previous carbon-based diverters would. Installation of the new diverters was completed last year, helping to extend K-STAR's record fusion time to 48 seconds in the latest 3-month run, up from half a minute in 2021. Despite being the first experiment run in the environment of the new tungsten diverters, throughout thorough hardware testing and campaign preparation enabled us to achieve results surpassing those of previous K-STAR records in a short period. Si Woo Yoon, director of K-STAR Research Center, explained in a statement. However, the diverter's performance at temperature 7 times that of the sun, 7 times more than the sun's temperature, had to be proven. It was by no means a sure thing. The KFE researchers expected it to perform much like a carbon-based diverter, but there was a risk that tungsten could shatter or even the new setup would fail to generate plasma. Not only had the material of the diverter changed, but also its shape had changed. At the beginning of the campaign, the temperature of the inner wall of the tokamak did not rise well, says KFE physicist Hyun Seok Kim, but the researchers were able to quickly adjust the new operating conditions to wrangle the plasma with magnetic fields. The tungsten diverter was not the only upgrade helping to improve K-STAR's performance either. KFE researchers collaborated with the U.S. Department of Energy's Princeton Plasma Physics Laboratory and writing in Nature Communications in February, describing how they found a way to stabilize weaknesses at the edge of the plasma caused by minuscule defects in the magnetic coils that hold the plasma in place. The improvement led to a second milestone, containing plasma in a highly efficient state called a high confinement or H mode for 102 seconds. Previous attempts were limited to a few seconds before performance dipped dramatically. Ideally, a full operational fusion power station would operate at critical temperatures in H mode for periods long enough to generate a sustainable source of energy. These achievements represent a monumental step towards this goal. Hyun Seon Han, the plasma physicist at KFE's High Performance Scenario Research Team, says the team are currently reviewing this latest batch of experimental data, which will feed into ITER's preparations, assembling the results for publication, and planning their next campaign. Han hopes that soon they can break through the 50-second mark on their way to the project's ultimate goal of achieving 300 seconds of plasma operation with temperatures over 100 million degrees by the end of 2026. That's 6 times longer than K-STAR's current record and still minutes shorter than China's experimental Advanced Superconducting Tokamak East Reactor, which as of April last year could generate and sustain plasma for almost a huge number of 7 minutes. But it takes massive amounts of energy to power up fusion reactors and generate plasma reactions for even a few seconds, so their ability to generate plentiful clean energy is still several decades away. You can imagine how much energy is also needed to fuel this to 100 million degrees. This is by Claire Watson on Science Alert. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.